Alright guys, as you saw in that other video, I have fixed my tool. So let's see if I can get it to work. I'm going to need a different socket, because the other thing was a 12-point socket. A little tap. My magnetic flashlight off. Let's see if it'll thread down in there without breaking. Okay. About a half a turn. We didn't get this far with the original tool. Okay. Lifts it up so that the tool is there. It's hitting against the bottom of the washer, so it can't go up anymore. There we go. So there we go. It actually worked. I actually got that injector cut sleeve out of there. So let's pull this one off. Pull it off. Just put it in a vise. Just put the tip of the injector sleeve in there. Clamp it down a little bit. And then just turn it backwards. There you go. But you can see when you do it inside the vehicle, you get all that brass shavings in there, inside the block. Hey guys, I just came up with a really great idea. Okay, so this is the injector sleeve here. It goes down in there. You can see where it seals, right down here on the bottom and up here on the top. And it sits down there on the bottom and everything else, and it provides a good sealing surface. But down in the bottom of there, it's really hard to like get that clean down in there. You can't reach it. And you can take a wire brush and you can try to clean it the best you can and everything. But there's a lot of corrosion and kind of built up, crud and everything, 350,000 miles. So I actually took this. This is a 9/16 by 5-inch bolt. I put it in a drill. And then I just took a Brillo pad, cut off a chunk of it, and I wrapped it around the head of it, and the head is just smaller than what that is. And you fit it down in there, and I'm on the last one here. And you just kind of go around and around, and it cleans the surface up. It's pretty good. And you can see how it cleans down in there. Gets that nice and clean down there on that sealing surface. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty good idea. So now we can throw the injector sleeves back in. Alright guys, so let's start putting injector sleeves back in. So I'm just wiping it down with before I put it in, I'm going to clean it so that my O-rings on my injector will seal real good. There's no stuff in there that's going to keep it from sealing. Wipe down the exterior, and then this is Permatex. This is sleeve retainer, high temperature. It's 64,000 is the number on it, and they sell different sizes of stuff. But the shop here in town, I didn't have any, and the shop here in town, they only had these little tiny jars. So basically, put a nice coating on there. And then it also seals down here. Okay. And we're going to grab our other tool. This is the installation tool. And you basically just drop it down in there. Like so. I think I may need to and you can hear the difference in the sound when it hits bottom and everything. And then just go back down in there and wipe any excess. And there you go. Well, there we go, guys. This one is all done. All new injector sleeves are in place. And now I just need to do the other head. And then we can start placing the heads on there and putting the heads on the motor. Alright, guys. We're going to start moving on to throwing the heads on this thing. The one thing about this is that we're not using the traditional head studs. These were the head studs that I pulled off of here and everything. And we're not using these this time. We're actually going to be using these gator fasteners. And they're going to be head studs. They're supposed to be stronger. Never really had a problem or nothing else. But I wanted new head studs and everything. And I'm going to tell you that the cost was not that much more for these here. There is a company by the name of ARP that everybody talks about. And if you're going to boost your truck, ARP head studs, everything else. And I was looking at it, and these gator fasteners here, I got these from the Jelly Belt, and he said he thought they were just as good. And he sold me these, and we got to go through a whole process of putting these in there. There's going to be a lot of torquing, a lot of going on. But the first thing that the instructions call for is to rethread all of the head stud holes. And I don't have a rethreader that's a 12 1.75, so I'm actually using a tap. And it'll work. Alright guys, we have gotten our surface all nice and clean and everything, free of all debris, and we're going to start installing these head studs. Now you only put them in hand tighten, and there is actually 4 shorter studs, and they go in here. They go in these 4 holes. And I have dipped the heads in that go into the engine, dipped them in oil, and then I let them drain off. That's a paper towel, just like you do with any head stud. I am going to use a T-handle wrench to run them down in, just hand tight. So, supposed to run them all down, and I'm looking down them, and they're all the same height. It says they're all supposed to be the same height, but these up here, it says on the instructions, these 4 are supposed to be shorter. These are not the same height as these. These stick up farther. But I just glanced at the head, and that part of the head, they are raised. So that's going to be fine. The last one down here is sticking up. Oh, I guess you gotta go in. That's why. Double check them all. They're all bottom out. I think they mean that they shouldn't be like ran in with an impact or something, but they have an Allen head on them, so I mean, I don't see any problem doing this. Making sure they get them all in the same, all the way bottomed out. Oh yeah, I fixed them all. Alright, here is the head gasket. Now, they may look a little different. It's because they're copper. They're sprayed with copper. I usually, when I do a rebuild, I usually put this stuff on. It's a copper coat, gasket compound. I've had the heads in the machine shop. I've had the block in the machine shop. Everything has been checked. But you know what? You spray a little bit of copper spray on there. It's not going to hurt anything. You know what I mean? There's nothing that can be hurt by having it in there. It can only help. Let's see here. Might not. There we go. Goes on there. Fits on there. Hands are stuck. Whew. These things are heavy. Okay. And that one fell into place too. Alright. So now we need to get the studs and the washers. It comes with a little brass in the box. Fancy. So it says that we need to put assembly lube. It's kind of confusing. It's very confusing. I think it's just a typo. Because where do my slip go? I've lost it. There it is. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so it says place the head stud washers on the head stud. Then lubricate only the top of head stud washers with assembly lube. Then lubricate both faces of the head stud washers with assembly lube. So I'm supposed to put them on there, put them on this side, then I gotta pull them back off and put them on the other. That doesn't make any sense. And then place them on the head studs. Lubricate the threads of the studs with assembly lube. Then lubricate the mating face and threads of the head stud nuts with assembly lube. And then snug all the nuts down, and then here is the torque pattern. So the first one is going to be 45 foot-pounds using the sequence above. So we got 45. It's going to be a lot of torquing. 45 foot-pounds. Number one, right in the center. I always start at 85. There we go. All right. Now we got one more to do. My wrist is hurting. We got 125. And this one is a different pattern. So this one, start down here, you know? Yeah. There we go. So I think it's break time. Take a bit of a break. This cylinder head is installed. Yay. 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 Cylinder head is all installed. So now I get the same thing on the other side. All over again. Exact same thing all over again on the other side. Alright guys, we got the other head on. It's all torqued down. I made it on through. And now it is time to throw the push rods in and let's put the rockers on. So, I do have different push rods because I went with the stage 2 cam, because I went with the Comp 19 springs. There's a little bit more, there's more force there. This is my old push rod. I did not see anything wrong with them. None of them were bent or nothing like that. This is the new one. It is bigger. That's basically the only difference. It is bigger. The shaft here is bigger to handle more pressure. On the standard ones that come with it, they're supposed to have like a brass or something they say or whatever, but it's actually just a gold or something like that. That's supposed to go up, but on this one here, there is no difference. They're the same. So we can drop in our push rods, and basically what you want to do is just make sure to get them into the lifters. You just want to make sure that they actually get into the lifters. Make sure that we're sitting in the lifters. There we go. And then we'll take our rockers and put the push rod in there. If these rockers are going to be in the way of the glow plugs. Thinking I should try that. So these are glow plugs. You can kind of think of it as like a water heater element. And the power goes to it, and this down here gets hot. It heats up inside the cylinder, helps it start easier. Yeah, we're gonna put these in now. All right, guys. So I have actually looked it up. It's 10 foot-pounds, or 120 inch-pounds. There, it's 10 foot-pounds. Take it over, 120 inch-pounds. I actually pulled. I'm going to I pulled the rockers back off. This makes it easier to get in there. I think I could have still gotten it in there, but at an angle, and it's an element, a heating element. You don't want to like come at an angle, maybe bend something. Should have ran these down with my impactor. Get them down there a little faster. There we go, finally. Go. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. There we go. Rockers, push rods are all installed. Rockers, push rods are installed on this side, so now I will do the other side over there and get that one done. Alright guys, it is time to drop injectors in here. I would actually like to have the wire harness first. There's a gasket. It's a gasket. I'll show you. So this is the gasket, and see that just sits down on there like that. And I'd actually like to have these now to put on there and stuff. But as you can see, these were all boogered up. Somebody put silicone in. I'm trying to get them to stop leaking. I have ordered all new gaskets. and it comes with the wire harnesses that go to the injectors and also go to the glow plugs. It's the biggest problem is putting the injectors in first. Then it's going to be a little bit more difficult putting the injector lead up, but it's not hard at all. They press down and they just press on. That's all they do. And then this one plugs into the injector. That can be all done afterwards. I may have to use like a needle nose to push it in, but I can get it. So I will be able to get it. It's just going to make it a little bit more difficult putting them on. But the thing is that I want to drop the injectors in because everything is perfectly clean right now. And it may be 2 or 3 days. I got a whole bunch of more stuff coming, and I had to order some stuff, and I forgot these, so I put this in with the order. And I don't want to leave this open and everything. So I'm going to drop the injectors in. I got the injectors back. I had them rebuilt. I actually found a guy. They were pretty expensive to get a set of injectors for his truck. And I found a guy locally here that was advertising for rebuilt injectors. And I went and talked to the guy, and he took me in his little shop, and he was all set, and I told him what I had, and he was like, I do those all the time. And he actually showed me a couple of them and stuff. And I would have liked to have rebuilt them myself, to be honest with you, because I know how to do it. I've seen it, and I watched this guy do it too. But I know how to do it. It's just, I don't know. I've never done one before, and I thought this may not be the right thing to do, to tell you the truth. But you need a jig. You need a jig and a special tool to take the injector apart. You can get by without the jig. The jig was pretty cool. I watched him do it, but I'm sorry, I'm moving around here. I'll do some in the future. They're pretty cool. It's just a lot of little springs and little ball things and stuff, and just checking things and stuff. So we're putting the injector hold-on bolt, and I'm putting Loctite on them because these are actually known to come out. They actually come. They loosen up. And so I'm putting a little bit of Loctite on them. They're 120 inch-pounds. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the injector in with this tightened all the way down. I've done this before, and what I've ended up doing is leaving these loose and then come back with a wrench and tighten them, but then there's no torque, and they're kind of notorious for leaking. So we have our injector right here, and it's all ready to go. And the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of oil around all the O-rings here. Help seal them up. And then they have a plate on here, and it's grooved in here to go over that, because this bolt, it has a shoulder on it, and see how it sits up there. And what happens is the injector will sit in there, and then it goes back there, and then you push this plate down, and then there's a hole on the other side where the actual bolt goes in. That holds the thing in there. So we're just going to be placing this in. Decide to slide that plate up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in. Yep. Looks like I'm going to get it. And then there is a bolt that has a shoulder on there that fits down into it, and let's tighten that up. And I'm going to just put some coating and oil around that little shoulder so it goes in there decent. Okay. There we go. So we got our injector installed. Now, it's like an oil deflector. It's just a little spout type thing. And what it does is it sits against the injector here, and there's an oil hole up here that the oil, these are oil injectors. And what it does is it sits there, and up on the top, there's a little hole that the oil will come back out of the injector. And it lubricates everything up, pumps it all up. And then the oil will come back out, and this little spout attaches onto it, and it kicks the oil away from it and puts it over here. Basically, it's just puts it away from the injector so that the oil is not pouring straight down back into the injector sleeve and everything, and maybe, you know, just pulling oil around there. So we need to put that back on. It's actually easier to get the injectors on and off with that spout removed. So that's why we had it removed there. Let's see. I'm just putting a simple blue Loctite in there, just serviceable Loctite. So you don't want this coming off, this little part coming off and floating around in here, getting in, you know, causing mischief. They're pretty simple. Just tighten up there. And then this is 9 foot-pounds. There we go. So there we go. So we just keep moving on down and throwing the injectors in. We'll be good to go. Okay guys, we have gotten quite a bit done. Got all the injectors and everything put over here and stuff. Like I said, I am waiting for the wire harnesses for the injector and glow plug wire harnesses, and it's also a gasket too that goes on the valve covers. And I also do need another valve cover. One was pretty rusted and stuff like that, and I'm still waiting for that. I'm just going to be covering this up and taping this off, and so that it keeps, you know, debris and stuff out of it. I got some cleaning and stuff like that to do, and I'm also going to be starting to paint the block, because one of the things I'm going to be doing soon is putting an oil cooler on here, and you can't get behind that oil cooler, so I'm going to paint it all up now, the block all up nice, and then I'll mount the oil cooler on there and then repaint everything up. So, but we got a lot of things done. We got those injector cups in there, in our heads, and in our rebuild heads, and we got to make ourselves a new tool, remake a tool. My mom, she was like, "You're always making tools or having to fix tools." And I said, "Yeah, I know, and I forgot to do something." Here, I'll have to get a pen here. So we're gonna have to put on here long haul Larry, patent number. I don't know. I think we're up to like 9. So there we go. So yeah, I've actually seen other guys doing motors like this and stuff. You know, I watch channels and stuff over the years. Well, I was thinking about doing this and getting ready for this and everything. And I've seen other guys doing it and just seeing if I can get any tips or anything. Something maybe I didn't know or something to help out. And I have seen a lot of guys have break these tools. It's really a simple thing that, hey, yeah, it works great. But you can't drill 3/4 of the bolt out and expect it to turn that big of a tap. You can't do that. And everything else they break too. You can fix it in 2 different ways. One, the way I did it, get a new bolt, solid bolt, and then drill and tap out and put some set screws in there and just make a little flat spot on each side of the bolt. And that's what I did, and it worked perfectly. It pulled all of them, and everything worked perfectly. The other thing, the tool maker, if you made this out of steel, instead of making this out of aluminum, make this out of a piece of steel, and then then thread your bolt in there, and if you want to, put a little welder on there. Done. Problem is solved. It might be just easier so you can cut the threads for the set screws and stuff in there for aluminum. I don't know why they do that, but that's what they do. So I'm gonna be out of here. I'm gonna go have a little bit of fun for the rest of the day, and I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they watch this here video. And if you are not, certainly let's try that all over again tomorrow. I will catch you guys later. It's starting to look like something now, isn't it?